Hello and welcome back to TST. If you're new to the channel, tap on the subscription button and press the notification bell so you can receive news and updates that you can rely on daily. Sir Lindsey Graham said there will not be funding for the World Health Organization in the next appropriations bill. On Tuesday's broadcast of the Fox News Channel's The Story, Chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee Subcommittee on State Foreign Operations and Related Programs, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, vowed that there will not be any funding for the World Health Organization in the next appropriations bill. Graham said, "In the next appropriations bill, there's not going to be any money for the WHO. I'm in charge of the Appropriations Subcommittee. I'm not going to support funding the WHO under its current leadership. They've been deceptive, they've been slow, and they've been Chinese apologists. I don't think they're a good investment under the current leadership for the United States. And until they change their behavior and get new leadership, I think it's in America's best interests to withhold funding." Take a watch.
So let's begin tonight with Senator Lindsey Graham, who is calling for repercussions over Beijing's lack of transparency. Senator Graham, always good to see you. Thank you for being here tonight. Let's start with the Peter Navarro memo and your thoughts on it. Went to the National Security Council. It was addressed to the president. The president says he didn't see it, but he also says that, the one that came out at the end of January, that 2 days later he called for closing off travel from China.
Well, somebody told him that you need to shut down travel from China and the United States, and he acted. So the system worked in that regard. Probably the single best decision the president made was stop travel from China into the United States. And in January, it probably saved us thousands of lives. And just remember, the memo says that a pandemic could cause 1.5 million, 1.2 million deaths. So have we acted decisively? If we can hold the death rate below 50,000, God willing, every death is terrible, then I would say we've acted decisively. But can I mention the WHO? The president mentioned about withholding funds from the World Health Organization. I'm the chairman of the committee that provides.
Yeah, Senator.
Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. We have a little delay, but I want to play that soundbite, and then that's exactly where I wanted to go next with you. So let's watch.
Yeah.
W.H.O., that's the World Health Organization, receives vast amounts of money from the United States, and they had a lot of information early, and they didn't want to. They seem to be very China-centric. And we have to look into that. So we're going to look into it, and we're going to put a hold on money spent to the WHO. We're going to put a very powerful hold on it.
Senator Graham, your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to take the burden off the president. In the next appropriations bill, there's not going to be any money for the WHO. I'm in charge of the Appropriations Subcommittee. I'm not going to support funding the WHO under its current leadership. They've been deceptive, they've been slow, and they've been Chinese apologists. I don't think they're a good investment under the current leadership for the United States. And until they change their behavior and get new leadership, I think it's in America's best interest to withhold funding because they have failed miserably when it comes to the coronavirus and did the same thing in 2015.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point. And when you look back on what they have said in terms of sticking up for China's take on all of this, initially, they defended the idea that it was not being transmitted person to person.
Right.
And that is what every medical professional was looking to hear, because if that's the case, you've got the makings of a pandemic, because it's moving through the air from person to person. They said that wasn't the case. They also said that President Trump was wrong to cut off travel from China. I mean, at every juncture, they have defended China's handling of this, sir.
Well, not only did they praise President Xi, they criticized President Trump. They called his decision to stop travel from China and the United States, I think, basically irresponsible. Here's the point. Without China being irresponsible, lying to the world about the way the disease is transmitted, withholding information about the level of infection, silencing doctors, there would be no pandemic. China is a pandemic incubator. These wet markets create conditions for the virus to spread from the human food chain, from wild animals like bats and monkeys. Yeah. Without China, there would be no coronavirus pandemic, and the WHO was slow to react and actually shielded China from legitimate criticism. No more money to the WHO until they get new people in charge who understand they're there to help the world fight disease, not apologize for China.
But what else changes? You know, I mean, in terms of our relationship with China.
Everything.
There was an interesting piece today.
Everything.
Good. Okay, what do you mean? Define everything. Define everything.
We're not okay. Number one, we're going to bring the medical supply chain back from China into the United States. We're in a terrible spot, having to depend on China to make our antibiotics, the personal protective equipment. That supply chain needs to come back into the United States, or at least to people that are more reliable. The Chinese Communist government has withheld vital information about the coronavirus pandemic. They silenced people who were trying to warn the world about what happened. So our trading relation needs to change. I said last night, and I stand by it, the world should send a bill to China. Without Chinese misconduct here, there would be no pandemic, and they need to pay a price. We need to bring back the supply chain for medicine and protective equipment and start changing the way we trade until they shut these wet markets down. Shut the wet markets down.
I think a lot of people agree with you. You know, just as we say goodbye here, when I saw the New England Patriots plane coming back from Russia and China, you know, obviously everyone's grateful to the organization for doing that, for bringing all that. But it made me sad at the same time. I thought, why do we need to go to Russia and China to pick up this stuff that we should be making here? And I want to see that this turns into something that takes action and doesn't just get lip service, because we all know it's cheaper to get it from China, but we can't find ourselves in this position ever again. Last quick thought, Senator.
Let me give you a little bit of hope. I've got a bipartisan letter going to the WHO criticizing them for the way they behaved with Senator Booker. I've got a letter going to the Chinese ambassador urging them to shut down the wet markets. When they give us stuff, it's like an arsonist who set a fire giving you a bucket of water. You shouldn't be grateful, because without the arsonist, there would be no fire. We have to do a top-to-bottom review regarding our relationship with China. And when I say we, I mean the entire world, not just the United States.
Yeah. All right.
Senator Graham's words were spot on. I mean, why would anyone fund an organization that's advocating, that's apologizing for a nation that is causing the deaths of countless lives, decimating economies, destroying lives and families, shattering hopes, just burning everyone else to the ground? Why in the world would anyone do that? The World Health Organization needs to be held accountable for their faulty recommendation to the US on not banning travel to and from China. And China needs to pay for what they have done, what they're still doing. The commies need to pay big time. Well, share your thoughts and responses in the comments down below. If you've liked this report, let us know by tapping that like button down below. Share the news among friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news and updates on TST. I'm David Ravine, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, stay home, stay healthy, and stay safe.